Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin, and as of right now, it looks like we have 42 participants on the line. Make sure that you reach out to your team. We don't want any ICMs left behind. These trainings are a really phenomenal way to start out your morning. We get to learn from people in this business who are absolutely killing it, both in the marketing side as well as doing tons of real estate. And it's just so motivating and inspiring to me to get to hear so many different tips and tricks, as well as just what's working for people out there, and that this really is the best income opportunity in the country. And Daine is a really, really great example of that. So a little bit of Daine's background. He was working two jobs. He worked for Apple, and he was actually in the back. He was actually kind of shy at the time, believe it or not. And he was also a roofer. He fell into roofing because that's what his dad did. And with fair skin and red hair, roofing was definitely not his cup of tea, being in the sun all day. At the time, Daine was barely making ends meet, and he started to look for other income opportunities. And after finding Renatus, he plugged into the system and he listened to his mentors. He applied velocity banking to pay down debt, and then he used that as leverage as a down payment on a duplex. He lived in one side and he rented out the other. Fast forward to today, Daine has now raised over $9 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions, and his secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has now grown his team. He's a PIT team member, meaning he's a President's Advisory Council member in training. He's recognized by our CEO, Bob Snyder, as a key leader, and we are very fortunate to have him as our trainer. I'm excited to learn from Daine today. Good morning, Daine.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being on the call this morning. Happy Wednesday, or Happy Wealth Wednesday, I should say. It's snowing outside here in Salt Lake City, but I hope it's nice down there in Arizona. All right. I'm super excited to share what I've got planned for today. And those of you who already know, or those of you who might be new and haven't been on one of my calls yet, in the beginning, I love to just interact. I love to talk about two different things. The first thing is I want to know how many people that you worked with in the last 7 days. So how many people did you work with in the last 7 days? Did you get them to an event? Did you do a one-on-one? Did you get them to a house tour? Did you make it to a Super Saturday, cash flow, intensive, you name it? Yeah, so yeah, I've already got people chiming in. So go ahead and chime in the chat box. Go ahead and either if you're on the phone and you're not on the Zoom, then go ahead and type in or not on the comments. Hit *6, come off of mute and just yell it out. If you're on Facebook, then go ahead and just type it into the comments on the Facebook. So perfect. I'm going to go ahead and look at my own because I always report my own numbers, even if it's a 0, because I know the success gods will bless you for always being honest in your business. And so let's see, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here and chat. Man, I got a ton of them. Gotta get through. All right. So I had 5. Cool. We had good morning in North Washington. Keely had 3. Congratulations. Ashley had 1. Great job. Levi had 3. David and Gilda had 3. Chuck had 1. Michael had 1. Marcus had 1. Amy had 2. Sandra has success gods coming her way in this next 7 days. Notice what happens. Ooh, and stay tuned for what I'm going to share with you guys today. I'm not sure who HS2 is, but good morning to you two. Penny had 2. Jeremy had 2. Awesome. This is great. Yes, Andy, I will see you in Chicago, brother. It's going to be sweet. Cecilia had 2, and Dawn had 3. And let's see if I can actually pull up the Facebook group as well and give people some shout out. Let's see. Man, we got a ton of comments here. Christine had 2, Ronald had 4, and Kat had 6. Congratulations, everybody. So funny, every time I pull up the Facebook group, I can like hear myself talking back to myself. I'm gonna turn that off for a second. But cool. The next thing I love doing, and I should even say, if you're new, the reason I like doing this is because I notice that as I keep myself accountable, I can also track and see why I made or didn't make money. And I notice I notice these patterns in my work of, oh man, I didn't do any one-on-ones this week, or I only did this many one-on-ones this week. That's the only number I track. I don't usually track how many people I get to like a Thursday night in a big group event, because to me that's just like a given. As many people as I can. I track how many one-on-ones I do personally. And I know last year I did 261 one-on-ones, and I can track all the way back down to making just shy of about $900 per one-on-one for 2019. And so I've been setting my goals accordingly. All right, how many one-on-ones am I going to do this year? What am I going to do differently? Setting goals, things like that. Because usually setting goals, it needs to base off of something. You got to base it off of something like, what did I do before? Is this something new? Have I never done this before? So am I going for something that's like brand new, first time ever, and I got to do this breakthrough type of stuff? Or am I going to increase current production, all that kind of stuff? So for me, accountability is huge. Next thing I want to talk about is I love fielding a question. Somebody that's working with somebody that needs a little bit of help, needs a little bit of love from the family here. You know who you are. Come off of mute and let's have a conversation and ask a question about somebody that you're working with, and maybe you're stuck. What can you do next? And whether it's from the beginning stages or been working with them, you know who you are. Go ahead and come off the mute and ask your question.
Hey,
you know who
this
you
is
are.
Jeremy. Can you hear me?
Aha. Jeremy, what's up, brother?
Hey, man. I am so jealous that I can't be there. There's two things that I would really love to ask you today. One is when you've got somebody who's come in at the essentials level and they're taking their classes, they're doing what they do, I'd like to discuss the conversation for upgrading them to their X combo, because I know as soon as if they're at essentials and they have one person that they sign up at essentials, they're locked into that big bucket. And I want to try and be mindful of having conversations with people and include their future about what their marketing future can be. But so I want to be responsible for that, and I'd love to get your input on it. And secondly,
yes.
The second conversation is when you're having a conversation with somebody and say, let's go ahead and get your put your order for your education in, and then how you go through the process of that to then the activation of their education. I've never gotten a chance to see that training personally, and I know I would benefit from it, and I'm sure there's other people that would as well.
Yeah.
So those are my two main things.
Man, you just commandeered my whole training of I wanted to talk about some other things, but we could talk about this the whole time. So let's tell you what, man,
you're the guy that.
Yeah, no worries. I got a plan. Just for
whatever
you.
It is that you want to do, man, I'm all for it.
I just got to tease you. So I will say this. I recorded my entire one-on-one, step-by-step, and the commentary of what I do. I can't remember how many months ago that was, but I know it is in YouTube. So step-by-step, and I haven't changed it since that time. Maybe I changed it just like little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and say, look for the training that I did on that one-on-one in the YouTube, because I've got that whole thing on there that I go through it step by step and literally spend the entire hour going through that.
So that'll be listed as one-on-one?
it will, I think Keely named it something like, Daine gives updates to his one-on-one presentation or follow-up presentation or something like that.
Awesome.
If you can't find it, then reach out to me, and I might be able to find it for you. But yeah,
well,
look that up.
But you and Keely for that, so I will look for.
Yeah. So let me speak to the other side though of how when you got somebody that comes in on essentials, how do you have that conversation to light a fire under their butt and say, hey, let's do this, let's go. So let me share with you what the thing that has worked for me. I'm not going to say this is the only thing out there because I know it's worked for a lot more people than just me, but here's what I like to do. So when I sit down with somebody, and usually they have heard about all the things, so they know there's the combo, they know there's the advanced, they know there's essentials, and they choose to just do essentials for whatever reason. You know, oftentimes it's, oh, this is all we can do. Oftentimes it's a little bit, oh, thank you, Keely. Oftentimes it's like we want to try this out a little bit, and before we, jump in the deep end, whatever it is. And so here's what I like to do. When I sit down with every single student, oh, here, let me share my screen. Share the screen, 3, 2, 1, zoom, bam. All right, well, that's coming on. Let me pop over here. So when I sit down with anybody, I'm gonna search this and say template, template. I'll oftentimes have just a template of class that I want them to go through, and I list it out, phase 1, phase 2. And so when I sit down with just an essential student, I still do this. I still will go through the phase 1 and phase 2 for them, and I'll customize it to them. And here's one of my favorite things. I just did this last night. And here's my favorite things to say as I'm going through hey, this is the class that we need to look at first. This is the class that we need to start going through. And so I'll start rating. I'll have them start rating themselves. So like last night, I was just doing a little bit of qualification just in general, but I'm asking the person I'm talking to, hey, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself in the tax world and in understanding? I'm not saying like you've read the IRS code. I'm saying like in your situation, what the best thing for you is going to be. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you start adding business and real estate into your tax, into your tax strategy, or your tax filing, I should say, man, things are going to change. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you feel? How strong would you feel you are in the tax world, especially adding real estate and business? Okay, so notice what I'm doing here. That I'm essentially getting the prospect or the brand new student. So most often I do this after they have already put some money down. They've basically unlocked either essentials or sometimes even their advanced or their combo. But I'm helping the student qualify themselves and tell me what they need. And so I'll sit down and I'll ask them these types of questions, and I'll just kind of go down through the stuff. So when we get into real estate, you like that whole velocity banking thing that they presented at the first exposure, whether it was me or somebody else, whatever. As we go deeper into that, like how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to understanding how the banks look at a credit report? And I'm not talking score, I'm talking the report. Like what do they want to see on that report? What are they looking for in longevity or in all these different things and how the report should look, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you feel you rate yourself in how banking and banking and credit work together? And rate themselves. And also 1 meaning like, oh man, nothing. Like I would probably not even pass that test. And the 10 being like, I wrote the IRS code. And so or in the credit one, like, oh man, I wrote the algorithm for credit scoring modeling and all that kind of stuff. And so I've never had anybody give me a 10. And so even if I've had people give me a 9, though, I have had people with, a little bit of an ego say, oh, yeah, I'm probably a 9. And I'm like, cool, so you're not afraid to learn then. My favorite line, because they never give me a 10. And so anything they say is like, cool, so it sounds like you're not afraid to learn. And they say, no, yeah, I'm all about learning. I'm all about, I'll even do this oftentimes in just like my prospecting. And, ask questions, not just like this one, but I'll ask questions like this, at a smaller scale, of just getting people to qualify themselves and understand that there's something out there for them to learn. And so anyways, I'll go through that, and then I'll go through the other things over here. I'll just pick a couple of things, like due diligence, for example. I'm not sure if anybody saw some of my Facebook posts, but that class has been out for a few months now. Mr. Nathan Tabor, and I've been so looking forward to making my way through that class, because it came out, I had already done a bunch of deals before this ever came out, and I'm like, man, that one looks cool. I wonder if I'm going to learn anything that I was like, oh man, I wish I would have known that. And I can tell you I already am. I'm only like an hour into the class. But anyway, so for example, like due diligence, I'll ask them a question like, yeah, so on a scale of 1 to 10, when you get the property under contract, how strong, or how would you rate yourself in just knowing like all the things that need to happen between that time and the time that you actually close, like all of the different due diligence items? I'm talking like what to look for when you walk through, like who to call, and professionals wise, like what type of professionals you're going to need in the deal, how you're going to structure things. And so I'm just speaking to a couple of things that Nathan Tabor teaches in that class. And so I have them rate themselves. So you'll notice that if I'm speaking to an essential student only, they don't even have access to this class. And so they start telling me that they need it, bare minimum. All right, we have created a need in their mind, not ours. Again, I say we have created a need in their mind, not ours. And so if they have the need in their mind and it was their idea, they are going to act way, way faster or with much more gumption because it was their idea and not yours, right? I'm just here to help lead their mind, their thinking towards what they need, which for most people, that's a combo. Most people need a combo. Whether they're like a Mike Kessler, already done 90 some odd real estate deals and just learning about Renatas after 90 some odd real estate deals. Yeah, Mr. Kessler needs a combo. Even though he's already done a lot of deals, he needs the advanced stuff, right? And so this is my favorite thing to do when helping somebody get that focus of upgrading. And you'll notice here as well. Oh, I'm not sure who I have off of mute here.
Call me from the bowling alley and I'll check on the.
I'll call you from the phone. Here, Sandra, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. So the next thing I should add too, because sometimes you got somebody that's more at the advanced level, where they have an advanced combo instead of the full combo. And so you'll notice in my phase 2 here, I've got a bunch of stuff that is combo only: real estate sales success, financial strategies, raising money. Oh, the wholesaling one is not part of that part, the bonus track, the combo only, but the one-on-one with Coach Gavin, the financial strategies, raising money, title and escrow is a bonus track only. The due diligence is bonus track only. Home inspections is bonus track only, right? And so I've got some stuff in there that is bonus track only, or in other words, combo only. Okay, so I hope that answers your question of things that I like to do. I mean, I do this with every student anyway, because I know this is what's going to help them almost have like a thermostat of how far they are anyway, but also it helps them see a need for themselves of what, and so this is one of the only ways I've had people be ready to upgrade. I've got a gal that I'm meeting with next week that she owns Essentials Only, and I did this for her. And she's watched every single class in her Essentials, probably some of them twice. And so because this thing is over here, she's like, man, I need to upgrade, right? So that's just one thing that's worked for me. If you want access to something like this, then you can just go to the website, or let's see if you might be able to see this, but DaineClark.com / I think it's tracker. DaineClark.com / tracker. So I wonder if I can just click that. Whoa, I'm on Google. I'm on Google, guys. It searched it. I want to put that. Paste and go. Okay, there you go. So if you want access to this, it is on DaineClark.com / tracker. And what you're going to do here is go to File and say, I think it's called Make a Copy. Yep, File, Make a Copy. And you can have one of your very own versions of this, and you can do whatever you like with it. So hope that helps, brother. All right. I got somebody else off of mute. Let me mute that. All right. So
yeah, man, that is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure, brother. My pleasure. All right, let's see. Okay, questions about that? Let's see. Cool, got that. Marcus, can you put that? Okay, cool. Oh, can we put that in the chat? So DaineClark.com. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. DaineClark.com / tracker.
Daine, I have a question. If you're still open to Daine, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I actually have a question if you're still answering questions.
I should probably go ahead and answer your question. Go ahead and answer it.
All right, cool. Real quick, just give me the quick answer. So I don't know if you had it. I said, give me the quick answer. So I said, I don't know if you've had issues with making phone calls, but that's just a barrier for me. Like, I don't have a problem getting leads. It's just, I feel like I get stuck right there. Like, what do you think I should do?
So you get a lead, but you have a hard time picking up the phone and calling them?
Yes, that's correct. I don't know. I have this like mental block in my head. I don't know what it is.
So I have that problem too. Still, actually, to this day, I still get a little nervous and gun shy, like when I know that I've got prospecting time scheduled for myself to be making my calls. So here's the thing that I do that really helps me. You ever seen a rodeo before, where they like ride bulls and they ride broncos and stuff like that?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever do you know how long they have to ride the bull?
No, I don't.
8 seconds.
Oh.
So they have to ride a bull for 8 seconds and then it's over. Right? Mm-hmm. And most often if you got a guy that actually rides a bull for 8 seconds, he will jump off because he made it. Like he has arrived.
Okay.
By doing this for 8 seconds. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I've noticed is that feeling that you and I, and I'm sure a lot of other people have, that feeling of the fear or whatever it is that's going on inside, if you just pick up the phone and you ride that bull for 8 seconds, it goes away.
Mm. Oh, wow.
After that, it's gone. It's so weird. I don't know why this works. I haven't studied any psychology or science behind it, but I know for me, if I pick up that phone, I say, all right, I'm just going to ride the bull and I'm going to start. And as soon as I start, the second one is easier. The third one is easier. Cause man, I already rode the bull. I already picked up that phone and started for 8 seconds. And then it went away.
Okay. Wow.
So that's number one. Number two, I would say, do you have a script in front of you that you are able to read off of as you're speaking with somebody? I just
got a new script because I'm taking ATM classes.
Good.
So I just got
Perfect.
scripts.
Good. So I was going to say that's going to be the next thing is a script builds confidence. Absolutely builds confidence. So for myself, being the guy that was scared of people and all, you know, I was so shy that my wife even had to come up to me and say, "Are you even going to ask me for your number?" And like literally scared of people. This has been some of the big helps for me, having a script and just knowing that all I got to do is ride that bull for 8 seconds. And that feeling of fear is going to go away because I did it, because I took action. Action always mitigates fear. You'll notice that too, even in your real estate businesses. You know, so speaking to everybody, even in your real estate businesses, if you go and make one offer, let's say you've never made an offer in your life. I was there. You go make one offer, it's always hard for the first 8 seconds to talk to that homeowner, to talk to that person on the other end of the line, or you know, at their house, whatever it is, the realtor. It's always tough to start, but once you start, you're just like, man, I'm still alive. Like, you know, you stand up and you start, you know, touching yourself like, oh my gosh, I'm still alive. Like, I'm okay. I didn't die. And you get to go. You get to get going. So there's a great film called let's see, We Bought a Zoo. Huh. I'm interested in watching this. Great story. 20 seconds of insane courage. That's awesome. I'm probably gonna watch that. So cool. Hope that helps. Is it Thais?
Yeah, Thais. Yes, you said it right. You get
cool.
brownie points for that, Daine. You said it right the first time. Thank you for that.
Yeah, my pleasure, brother. Okay, so let's see. I'm already sharing my screen. Let's jump over here. Let's make a today is January 29th mastermind, because I'm a huge proponent of recording everything I do. Okay, let's draw. So everybody on the call, I want you to imagine something with me. So let's say here we are at the end of April, and we all have the opportunity to actually shake each other's hands at the Renatus Nationals. So let's say we're all Renatus Nationals, and we're like, hey man, I see you every week on the call, and we've never actually been able to see each other's face. And we're all meeting each other, right? Not just me and you, but everybody is connecting at the Renatus National. Okay? And so you and I and he and you and him and her and he and her and him and all the people. What? All right, let me pose this question. Okay? What would you really love to say? So let's say, what will you say? Just because I can speak faster than I can write. What is one thing that you would really love to say that you accomplished between today, January 29th, and Nationals? Right? So again, I pose this. Imagine yourself speaking, you know, connecting with people at the National. What is one thing that you want to be able to say that you were able to accomplish basically already in the year 2020? So for everybody, this is going to be different. So write this down. If you're on a phone, if you got a piece of paper, if you got a computer, a tablet, anything, I don't care. Written down, digital or paper. Paper is better, but digital works fine. Write one sentence down that you want to be able to say to people as you're rubbing shoulders at Nationals. One thing. So for myself, if I give open up the curtain a little bit in my own life, one thing that I really, really want to be able to say, honestly, there's two things, but let's just go with this one. One thing I want to say that I've already accomplished inside of the year 2020 is that I made $200,000 already. To be able to say, like, man, like, this year has been off to a great start and already made $200,000 right out of the gate. That's one thing that I want to be able to say when because people always ask you, how are you doing? Whatever. Here's the other thing though. I want to be able to say that I did my first seller finance house that I bought and then sold in some form of seller finance, whether it's like a subject to, or whether I sell it as a, as, you know, kind of like a lease option, essentially, where they're buying it, but leasing it, you know, what do you call it? Rent to own. I want to do a buy and then turn around and sell on a seller finance type of a deal. That's going to be super fun. And I'm excited to be sharing that with people that I'm meeting. Okay. So, and if anybody feels confident that they'd like to come off of mute or chime into the chat or whatever, what is one thing, and believe me, by sharing this with more than one person, it's going to cause you to be like, oh crap, I better do this. Because if I see people that heard me say that I wanted to do this before, before I met them at Nationals, somebody might ask, somebody might remember, right? So anybody feel confident that they want to manifest this enough that they want to share in either a chat, come off a mute, yell it out. Let me jump over here to the Facebook, check comments here for a sec.
Hey, Daine. One of my goals for 2020 is to pick up 3 short-term rentals this year.
3 short-term rentals before Nationals?
Oh, before Nationals. Before Nationals 1, but 3 by the end of 2020.
Okay. So one short-term rental before Nationals. There's a reason why I chose Nationals, because most people, when they think about goals, they think about, oh, the year 2020. I'm going to do this in the year 2020. No. Like our human brain can't think in that big of a space, because, I mean, that's 12 months. That's 365 days. That is a lot of time. Like, it's really hard for us to be thinking about Christmas right now because it's January, right? But if you break down your goals into 4 sections throughout the year, you will actually accomplish so much more. Because notice where, the world itself accomplishes more, or more transactions are had in the last quarter of the year than any other quarter. Or let's even use companies that, if you've watched your tax and legal class and they file their corporate taxes middle through the year, those companies have huge pushes in that last quarter, whether it's June or July, whatever they're filing, or if it's December 31st, because the brain can think in those 3-month periods. And so if you do that 4 times this year, you will accomplish so much more than you could have than if all you did was think about the year 2020. So that's why I say, no, let's not think about the year 2020. Let's think about April. Let's see, are there 30 days in April? January, February, March, April, 30 days. So April 30th. What is one thing that you want to be able to say that you've done by April 30th? And it's going to light a fire under your butt way better than saying I want to accomplish that same thing by December 31st, right? You with me there? You picking up what I'm putting down? I hope this is making sense. Okay, so good. So we've got Kevin Wright. I'm so glad that you jumped in there. I mean, right on cue, right? So let's see. You got Kevin Wright said they want to become 5-star. Let's see. Do I have other comments here that I need to bump over? All right, got tons of them. I got 1 combo. Ashley Nicole Rose, great job. Sheena Kyler, 1 essentials. I have 5. Oh, I love this. I have 5 people on my team promoted to 5-star status and 2 real estate deals closed by Nationals in 2020. Attaboy, brother. That's awesome. Make 5-star, close 2 deals before nationals. By nationals, I will have helped 6 students get started with the Renatus education at any level. Become 5-star before nationals. I desire to become 1-star and have 1 buy and hold or short-term rental. By nationals, I will have 8 new team members, and I've earned my 5-star qualification. I also have 3 wholesale transactions. Oh, I love what you guys are doing here. You're speaking as if it's already happened. I love it. Okay. 5-star qualified, 3 team members, 3 real estate deals, 1-star. Man, you guys are chiming in faster than I can even read these. Teresa, 5-star qualified, closed 1 real estate deal. By nationals. Josh White, 3 more 5-stars on my team. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Right. So if we start thinking around this very thing,
hey, Daine,
setting the goal.
I can't type because I'm driving, but I want by nationals when I meet Keely, I want to have I'm going to have closed on a fix and flip, like completed it and be 5-star.
Yeah. 5-star and closed the fix and flip. Love it. Are you, when you say closed, you bought it and it's being worked on, or you already made money?
Oh no, I want it to be finished.
Finished. Already made your money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We got to get detailed on these things, right? So make sure it's real specific. Okay. Love it. Great job. Thanks for chiming in. Okay. So by April 30th, let's see, because I got to check and make sure I'm choosing the right dates here. My calendar lives and breathes my own life. So nationals, am I saying the right date? Oh my gosh. No. We're talking March. End of March. Holy crap. This was a test to make sure you guys were all following along. So March 30th. March 30th. Oh, that's a really long M. But anyway, March 30th. At the end of March, so we only have 2 months to nationals. So be thinking about that. I got 2 months. What do I want to say that I accomplished between today and March 30th at nationals? I can't believe I did that. But I was gonna say I thought it was beginning of April. But anyway, March 30th. Hopefully that doesn't throw a wrench in anybody's gears where they're like, crap, I can't. No. Let's do this. Okay, so March 30th. And again, so when you set goals like this, here's the thing. In 12-week periods, right? Instead of 12 months, let's think 12 weeks. Not 12 months, 12 weeks. And so if you line out what you need to do in 12 weeks in order to accomplish that goal, in the 3-month periods, essentially, believe me, you will accomplish more in the year 2020 than you did in 2019, or more than you ever have in your life, because the brain can handle that. The brain, and you will have that fire under your butt. Like, man, I only got a little bit of time to accomplish this goal, and it's going to push you. Okay, I got somebody off of mute. Somebody want to jump out? LaShawn, is it Austin? Austin? All right, no worries. All right, so set your goals that way. You are going to have 4 sprints in the year 2020 where you get to set goals by the 12-week increment. All right, so when you sit down, do that instead of, say, 2020. And all right, a couple of questions because we're right at the top of the hour. Anybody have questions that they want to jump off and or jump on and ask? Let's field a couple of questions and then we'll call it a morning. But remember, nationals. What do you want to say? Go ahead. Let me check comments. Tons of comments. All right. Well, let me check the Facebook really fast.
Hey, Daine,
right.
this is Joey Backowitz in Chicago.
Go ahead, brother.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Well, this is a question. I have met a couple times with an NFL, like an NFL. He's got a Super Bowl ring, and he's interested in real estate. Okay, met with him. Haven't got him to an event yet because I want to get to know him, expose him, and and not I want to do it thoroughly. Not kind of thoroughly, but
yeah.
How do I? And I don't want to say he's missing in action because the guy's busy. Even though it's off season and he's not in the Super Bowl this year, but he's got a Super Bowl ring. And I've never had anybody he's plays for $2 million a year. So do you have any idea? Give me your impression of what you would do with him.
Yeah. Have you ever seen my box training before?
No, I don't even, no, I got to clue in with what you're doing. Box training. No. How do I see it?
Oh man, I'm not sure if I know where I could find that, but somehow I'm going to need to find that and send it to you because every single human is one of 4 relationships to real estate, right? So we already know that he's interested. What we need to do next is just find out which interested is he, because not everybody wants the same thing in real estate. And so you got to speak to what he wants. So
okay.
What I would do is let's track down that training just for sake of time. Let's track down that training on the 4 different boxes and how you need to approach this gentleman to speak to what he wants.
Okay.
And if you do that, then you're gonna. Literally, you are gonna set a hook. If we talk fishing terms here, you'll set a hook because you'll speak to what he wants.
How do we connect and how do I get the boxes and all that stuff?
Are you on Facebook? Let's see. I might have already had somebody.
Yeah, I am. I'm just really getting into it though. You know what? Do you? Well, I am, but I'm just. I just got an assistant now who's helping me with all that stuff. I mean,
in essence, can you reach out to me on Facebook and say, hey, can you help me track down the box training? Would you be capable of sending me a Facebook message?
I got a guy working with me on social media and all that. I'm old school. I mean, I still keep up. I write all my leads on paper and stuff, and stuff like that. So, all right, I will get to you. Thank you very much. Great idea.
We will track it down. We'll track it down, and for those that are on the call still want to hear, we'll post it in the Facebook group, and also we'll get it to you however we need to. So I would say that figure out which box he's in, speak to that.
All right, great. Thank you.
Cool. Sounds good. Let's see. I got one more person with their hand up. Pete Smalley, raise your hand. Did you do it on purpose, brother? Here, let me put you off of mute. Pete, are you there? All right, might be by accident. Cool. Well, let's call it a morning. Go and do. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on at Nationals. I'll see you next week, but looking forward to seeing you all at Nationals and having the opportunity to rub shoulders and share that we were able to do it, to do what we set out to do in Q1 of 2020. So, all right. Facebook Live training. It's in the Elevate Renatus Facebook group. Reach out to Keely and she'll help you, or you can Facebook message myself and I'll add you to the Facebook group. So, all right, guys, love you all. I'll see you next week. Let's make it happen.